The Taliban held a parade of captured military kit in Afghanistan's second city, Kandahar, today. Flying a stolen Black Hawk is one thing, steering governance and a functioning economy, something else. According to the Taliban, a new Afghan government could be announced by the end of the week. And when it comes to engagement with that government, a lot of convincing to do with top brass stateside.
We don't know what the future of the Taliban is, but I can tell you from personal experience that this is a ruthless group from the past, and whether or not they change remains to be seen.
There are now two indicators when it comes to what sort of Taliban regime the world can expect. The first, will they facilitate the movement of people who still want to leave the country? Confirmation today that the UK is in talks with the Taliban to secure safe passage for a number of British nationals and Afghans. The UK government also announced that Afghans who've been airlifted to the UK are now entitled to indefinite leave to remain.
So today we have announced that people who've arrived under the ARAP scheme, which is the scheme for people who've helped us over the last 20 years, that they will receive indefinite leave to remain. And that will mean they have stability, but it also means that they're able to, for example, seek work.
The second big indicator of Taliban direction of travel, what happens to women in the new Afghan regime? There were 69 women MPs in the previous government, a symbol of a country starting to change. That was before Kabul fell 2 weeks ago. Now, some of those female MPs stuck in the city and in hiding.
Hello, can you hear me?
There are 3 women MPs in the Kufi family. One of those MPs is Mariam here on the right, with one of her daughters, Marwa. These are the pictures of their evacuation out of Kabul to the UK a week ago. Lives forged in the history of turmoil. Mariam gave birth to Marwa while fleeing from the Taliban the first time round in the 90s.
Half an hour after she was born, I wrapped her up and started moving towards Pakistan.
Wow, I didn't know this story too.
In August this year, 2 weeks before the fall of Kabul, a bomb went off outside their house.
The situation was awful. Within the course of a month, I'd lost everything.
Mariam is in regular contact with other women MPs still stuck in Kabul.
My request to the UK government is help the women specifically. If the Taliban get hold of them, women are tortured more than men.
This mother and daughter story is the story of modern-day Afghanistan. The question now, what will their lives tell us next about the future of their homeland?
Now, the Afghan MP interviewed in Porrick's report just now was Mariam Kufi. Earlier today, I spoke to her sister, Fawzia Kufi, a former MP and women's rights activist herself, who was held under house arrest by the Taliban. She managed to escape and is now in Doha. I asked her whether she's in touch with colleagues who hadn't been able to leave and are now in hiding.
I am, and it's heartbreaking, and that was one of the reasons actually that I wanted to stay and make sure that at least those who are at immediate risk could be evacuated before I could leave. Unfortunately, we were not able to help all of those women who are at risk, high risk, politicians, civil society activists, including my family members who were also working with government and civil society and media influencers. My heart is in pieces, and most of those pieces are now in Kabul and the rest of the country, unfortunately.
What will you do now? Do you intend to carry on being an Afghan politician, but effectively in exile?
There is no question about the fact that I will continue to do what I have been doing. Primarily, I try to go back to Afghanistan. That's a country that I own. That's a country I have invested my blood, not only my energy. I will try to be as much relevant and effective and bring the changes I want to inside the country, but also internationally. I will try to continue to raise awareness bring the international attention to what's going on in Afghanistan, especially on the women's situation.
What do you think the Taliban's announcement that women can't hold positions of power in the government, the senior positions, what does that mean? What will that mean in reality?
It is a clear discrimination and in contradiction with Islamic principles and the practices in the rest of Muslim world. To deny 55% of the society from economic, social, and political rights is not only risky it's not only good for the woman, but also for the country's economy, for the future of the country. So I think it can certainly undermine the international claim that, and also the transformation of Afghanistan that we have achieved in the past 20 years. And I hope the world will watch this and not only keep silent, but act. It's the time that we need to show more solidarity in practice towards women of Afghanistan.
For those people who were left behind, who are trying to get out, what is their route? I mean, are they having to be smuggled, or are they being able to do it officially? And what kind of help do you think a country like Britain could give now, practically?
I think my request and appeal would be to British Prime Minister, to British politician and the Queen, to Her Majesty the Queen, to sponsor more women from Afghanistan by awarding visa for them. We're working with regional countries to see if they could have a safe passage to these regional countries, and from there they could fly to the UK. My request would be that to give a priority to them, because the evacuation, yes, success on many ways, but nightmare in most of the cases.
We've also spoken to members of your family in Britain today. If you all keep speaking out the way you are against the Taliban, will you also fear for your personal safety?
I have always been able to take risk with the cost of my life. That's not my immediate worry. My worry is really the 35 million people that are left behind, terrified. You have seen the scenes of the images of the airport. Everybody wants to literally leave the country, not because some of them are at immediate risk, but most of them are so hopeless and disappointed about what will happen to them, because they are now used to a different life in the past 20 years. They don't want to go back. Nobody wants to go back. Nobody, literally, from south to east, north to south. It's not Kabul centric. Nobody wants to experience those experiences that they did during Taliban time.
Fawzia Koofi, thank you very much.
Thank you.